Hi guys, today I'll be taking a look at the current ecosystem of racing wheels available from Logitech, and hopefully this video helps anyone planning on buying one, whether you're new to sim racing or if you're planning on upgrading your existing Logitech wheel. Details of all the products shown today are in the description below, including purchasing links. I'll take you through the existing range of racing wheels, so the G29, G920, G923, the RS50 and the Pro Racing wheel, showing you around the different wheelbases, wheels and pedals. I'll take you through the main features and describe what it feels like and how each one performs. But before I begin, if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to get notified of my next release. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Taking a look at the G series range, so the G29, G920 and the G923, which are their entry level range. They come bundled with a wheelbase that has a wheel attached to it and a set of pedals. The G29 and G920 are equivalent wheels, with them both supporting PC, but the G29 provides PlayStation compatibility, whereas the G920 is Xbox compatible, costing just under $260. The G923 is very similar to the G29 in terms of controls on the wheel, but this is an upgrade to both the G29 and G920, featuring an additional layer of immersion called TrueForce, which I'll discuss later. There's two variations, with one supporting PlayStation and the other supporting Xbox, but they're both PC compatible, with them costing just under $350. Mid-range wise, we have the Logitech RS50, which was released in September 2025. The wheelbase is available to purchase standalone, with there being two offerings, so a PC version for $350 and a PC and PlayStation version for around $450. There's also a wheel and wheelbase bundle called the RS50 system, which are Xbox and PC or PlayStation and PC, with each one costing around $700. Pedals wise, at this level, you've got the RS pedals, which come as a 2-pedal set costing $160 with an optional clutch that you can buy for $45. And finally, at the top end of the range, which is the Pro Racing wheel, also known as the Pro DD11. This is also available to purchase standalone, with there being two offerings, so a PC version for $600 and a PC and PlayStation version for $700. There's also a wheel and wheelbase bundle with three offerings. The first is a PC only bundle costing $1,000. Then we have an Xbox and PC or a PlayStation and PC, with each one costing around $1,200. Pedals wise, at this level, there's the Pro Racing pedals, which come in a 3-pedal set costing around $380. And worth noting, price wise, on Logitech G's website, if you use code GeekStreet, you get 5% off the RS50 Pro wheel and RS accessories, and 10% off all their other gaming products and the G series wheels. Let's start by taking a look at the entry-level wheels over to the Logitech G29, G920 and the G923, which are nearly identical in design. It has a dual motor consisting of gears and cogs that provides 2.1 Newton meters of peak torque on the G29 and G920, whereas on the G923 it provides 2.3 Newton meters of peak torque, with them all providing a maximum 900 degrees lock-to-lock rotation. These wheels don't have a quick release system, as the wheel is attached to the wheelbase, and the wheelbase has clamps underneath to help attach it to a table, together with holes allowing you to attach it directly to a sim cockpit. The connection points are underneath, together with a cable that has a USB-A connection point, allowing you to connect it to either a console or PC. The wheel is covered with hand-stitched leather, with it having a center strip. It measures 260 millimeters in diameter. There's a selection of buttons on all the wheels, with them all looking very similar, but the G920 is slightly different compared to the G29 and the G923, as they have a 24-point selection dial and the plus and minus buttons to further adjust and tune your driving preferences, together with an LED indicator positioned just above the center of the wheel. The G923 is the only entry-level wheel that supports TrueForce. The wheels all look good and feel good and aren't very heavy. There's two paddle shifters at the back made from stainless steel and have a clicky sound. Have a listen to this. The pedals that come with the G29, G920 and the G923 look identical, with the pedals being made from stainless steel, which are mounted onto a plastic board. Underneath you have carpet grippers and rubber pads to prevent it slipping. Plus it can also be mounted onto a sim cockpit using the holes underneath. All 3 pedals are spring loaded, working off a precision hall sensor that works off the distance travelled, but the brake on the G29 and the G920 has a non-linear spring, whereas on the G923 the brake has a progressive spring which mimics the performance of a pressure sensitive brake system. Now this means the first 50% feels pretty easy, but once you get past this it does get a lot stiffer, and you do need to use a lot more force when pressing down, giving it a more realistic braking experience. Moving on to the mid-range wheel, which is the Logitech RS50, I've got the PlayStation bundle. The wheelbase has a direct drive motor, with the casing having a hexagon shape, with it being metal all the way round. It weighs 4.4 kilograms and is capable of providing 8 Newton meters of torque, and has a maximum rotation of 900 degrees, with it supporting TrueForce. At the front you've got an OLED display with a button next to it allowing you to quickly change settings, together with a wheel mounting point. Over to the back and you've got a stop start button together with your ports along the bottom. Underneath you've got 2 slide rails where you'd slot in the T-nuts provided in the packaging, and you'd use this for mounting purposes. The wheelbase comes with a desk clamp that you can attach directly to the wheelbase, allowing you to attach it to a desk. In this bundle you get the RS round wheel with the RS hub. It measures 290mm in diameter with a low carbon aluminium wheel rim and a silicone leather stitched all the way round, with a white coloured centre marker at the top and the G logo in the middle. The build quality feels good, with the edges nicely moulded around the aluminium spokes, with the silicone leather stitched together on the inner part of the rim. There's no indents on the wheel as it's smooth all the way around, making it perfect for rallying or drifting. Looking at the wheel hub, you've got a selection of buttons, which also includes the PlayStation button, a joystick and 2 dials. There's also a light sync RGB LED rev lights at the top, which is configurable. At the back you have Logitech's quick release system and paddle shifters, which have a brushed metallic effect and are magnetic, with a nice clicky sound when pressing down. They're adjustable, so you can adjust them by 12mm to suit different wheel sizes. You can do this by unscrewing the 2 screws and pushing the shifters in or out. You can also completely remove them by removing the screws and pulling the shifters away. The mid-range pedals that complement the RS50 are the RS pedals. Taking a closer look, they come in a 2-pedal set with an accelerator and brake that's made from steel and finished in matte black. You can change the height of the pedal plate, but you can't adjust the angle. The accelerator has a larger pedal plate. It's spring loaded and works off a Hall effect sensor, working off the distance travelled. Pushing down on the pedal and it has a smooth motion, with it having a stop point after travelling a certain distance. Onto the brake pedal, which has a smaller pedal plate than the accelerator and has a 75 kilogram load cell kit that works off the pressure you put on it, just like a brake in a real car. The brake force can be adjusted from 1 kilogram to 75 kilograms in the Logitech G Hub software. You also have the ability to customize the feel of the brake pedal by lifting up the 2 levers at the back and using a different combination of dampers and spacers to change how stiff you want the brake pedal to feel. Looking at the bottom of the pedals, and each pedal has anti-slip rubber pads in 3 locations to stop it slipping on a smooth surface. If you plan to use the pedals on carpet, then you can attach the carpet grippers to each pedal from underneath using 2 screws. If you didn't have a sim rig and were planning to use the pedals at your desk, then in the packaging you get a set of extenders. They help to avoid tipping. There's 2 positions for these. You can either have them extended out or flipped up as a wall brace, and you secure them into position using the screws provided. There's also an optional clutch pedal you can buy, which is similar to the accelerator, with it also being spring loaded and has a Hall effect sensor. Build quality actually feels really good with an all steel construction, making it a big upgrade in comparison to the entry level pedals. At the high end we have the Logitech Pro wheelbase. I've got the PlayStation bundle. It's a direct drive wheelbase, meaning it contains a motor to provide feedback directly to the user, just like the RS50. The outer shell is made entirely of strong plastic. It weighs 7 kilograms and is capable of providing 11 Newton meters of torque and has a maximum rotation of 1080 degrees, with it supporting TrueForce. At the front of the wheelbase, you have a connection point for the wheel to use with a quick release mechanism. At the top, you have some LEDs for the rev counter and a small display with a button next to it, allowing you to make changes directly to the wheelbase without using the Logitech G Hub software. Below that, we have an on-off button. At the back, you've got your ports. The wheelbase can be mounted directly onto a sim cockpit or a desk using a desk clamp provided. To attach the clamp, you just pull off the cover below the front of the wheelbase and push the desk clamp into place. Onto the Pro racing wheel you get in the bundle. It has a D-shaped design which is 300mm in diameter and is made of metal with a brushed effect. It's finished in perforated leather all the way round, which is soft to touch and feels comfortable in your hands, with a metal center marker on the top. You have a number of controls directly on the wheel which are ergonomically placed so everything is at close reach when driving. And to be honest, all the buttons, turn knobs and joystick have a really good feel to them. Coming around the back, you've got the quick release mechanism, allowing you to quickly swap wheels in and out in seconds. Then we have the paddle shifters and dual clutch paddles. The top half of the shifters are magnetic, providing quick and precise shifting, while the bottom half are spring loaded, which allows you to control the clutch with having a nice feel when you press down, and they're a comfortable distance away from the wheel. Pedals wise, at the high end range, we have the Pro pedals. These come as a 3-pedal set, so an accelerator, brake and clutch, constructed of metal with a solid build quality. Each pedal is held in position on the main pedal plate that's made of strong plastic. Each of the pedals can be easily adjusted in terms of positioning on the holding plate, with the adjusters being underneath. You can even remove all the pedals and mount them inverted on a sim cockpit. Both the accelerator and clutch are spring loaded, and the brake pedal has a 100 kg load cell sensor to give a more realistic braking experience. The packaging comes with a set of replacement springs for the accelerator and clutch, together with a selection of rubber dampers, all providing various degrees of tension. And the nice thing here is that you can easily adjust them without any tools. Just pull up at the lower part and the spring can easily be swapped. And for the brake, you'd pull out and twist the blue cap, and under there you'll find the dampers. Looking underneath the pedals, you've got a selection of rubber pads and screw holes for attaching to a sim cockpit, and the pedals have a really good build quality to them. Now, for those of you wondering what TrueForce actually is, it's an additional layer of feedback that's only supported on the Logitech G923, RS50 and Pro wheel. With it enabled, you experience the in-game physics, road conditions and motor vibrations, adding an extra layer of immersion to the whole experience. Support is limited to a small selection of games, but in the games that do support it, you can feel the vibrations coming through to the sim racing frame, adding to the immersion, giving an awesome racing experience. On the G923, TrueForce is very subtle, and to be honest, it's not really that impressive. But on the direct drive wheelbases, so the RS50 and Pro racing wheel, you can really feel the difference. It makes TrueForce the main difference between Logitech and the other direct drive racing wheels on the market, helping to give an extra level of immersion. Let's move on to testing out all the wheels. Starting off with the Logitech G29, the wheel and pedals have a good feel to them, with them providing a reasonable amount of force feedback from the wheel. You can feel any bumps and knocks together with feedback going around corners. The wheel does feel a little bit notchy when you're racing, together with the bass being slightly noisy due to it working on dual motors consisting of gears and cogs, and the feedback you get from the maximum torque level of 2.1 Newton meters is not too bad. In comparison, the G923 feels very similar with the level of feedback and performance it provides. The extra torque levels are just marginal at 2.3 Newton meters. This was Logitech's first wheel to feature TrueForce, with it adding that extra layer of feedback, providing subtle enhancements to the whole racing experience. But does it make a major difference on the experience? Well, I wouldn't say it's anything dramatic, as it's quite subtle, but nevertheless, it still is another level of immersion you get with this wheel. Pedals aren't too bad either, so definitely a good entry level option or if you're on a limited budget, plus it's perfect for young kids at this torque level. Moving on to the Logitech RS50, which provides 8 Newton meters of torque, and in comparison to the entry level wheels, this is a massive upgrade, with the racing experience feeling really smooth, refined, giving a lot of detail from bumps, curbs, and the track itself. You can feel the force feedback accurately from the tracks as you're going around corners, with it feeling very realistic. If you compared it to the entry level wheels, the experience is literally night and day, with it feeling completely different. With TrueForce switched off, the wheelbase is very quiet. Even after playing for a few hours, the wheelbase doesn't get hot. Switching TrueForce on, which is when you start getting that additional layer of immersion, where you can hear additional feedback noises coming from the wheelbase. And with this, you can actually feel TrueForce when you're racing, and if you had it attached on a sim rig, you'd feel it coming through to the rig. Now, over the years, I've tested quite a few racing wheels, and seriously, once you've raced with TrueForce enabled, going back to other wheels, it just feels like something's missing, like an empty feeling. The pedals feel good and precise underfoot with no flex on them, and they're a big jump on the entry level pedals. The brake pedal has a 75 kilogram load cell sensor, which works really well, feeling solid and rigid, giving a realistic braking experience. The accelerator feels smooth and retracts back well when transitioning to the brake. In terms of usage, the torque levels and pedals may be too much for young kids, so this is more suited for young teenagers and adults, providing a really good racing experience. And finally, over to the Logitech G Pro. The racing feels very similar to the RS50, as this also has a direct drive wheelbase. The racing experience feels really smooth, feeling a lot more refined, giving a lot of detail from bumps, curbs, and the track itself. You can feel the force feedback accurately from the track as you're going around corners, with it feeling very realistic. And again, if you compared it to the entry level wheels, the experience is literally night and day, with it feeling completely different. Torque levels on the wheel feel much stronger at 11 Newton meters, together with the levels of TrueForce being even more distinct compared to the RS50. Moving onto the wheel, and it feels incredible, with a comfortable feel when racing, and with the controls on the wheel all at easy reach. The paddle shifters have an excellent feel to them when you're shifting up and down through the gears. Plus, this wheel has clutch paddles on there, which is something not available on the wheel you get in the RS50 bundle. In terms of customization, there's no option of changing the rim like you can with the RS50 wheel, as this features their new wheel hub, but you can purchase the wheel hub to use with this wheelbase, as it's fully compatible. Over to the pedals, and they feel really good with a solid and refined feel to them when compared to the RS pedals. They're precise underfoot with no flex on them, with definitely a more premium feel to them. The clutch feels good when you're using it, and the brake pedal with the 100 kilogram low cell sensor works really well and feels more precise than their other entry-level pedals, feeling solid and rigid, giving a realistic braking experience. The accelerator feels smooth and retracts back really well when transitioning to the brake. In terms of usage, the torque levels and the pedals may be too much for young kids, so this is more suited for older teenagers and adults, providing an awesome racing experience. Personally, if I was choosing between all the Logitech wheels, I'd definitely go for the Pro wheel and Pro pedals. The additional torque levels with the TrueForce actually feels amazing when racing. The TrueForce levels are actually even higher on this compared to the RS50, adding to the immersion. And pedals wise, the Pro pedals feel amazing when racing, with a solid and much more comfortable feel to them when racing. I've owned it for a number of years and definitely recommend it. Ecosystem wise, Logitech is still pretty small, with them being quite slow to develop and release new products, with us still waiting for them to release a Pro H pattern shifter. In terms of compatibility of the different existing products within their ecosystem, well, if you already owned a G29, G920 or the G923, then you could buy the Logitech Racing Adapter, and this would allow you to connect up the RS pedals or the Pro pedals directly to one of the entry-level wheels. and the dial on the racing adapter lets you adjust the load cell pressure value. Alternatively, you could use the racing adapter to connect the entry-level pedals and the driving force shifter to either the RS50 or the Pro racing wheel, so there's a good amount of flexibility if you wanted to mix and match with some of the older kit, which is good to see. With the RS50 and Pro wheelbase, you can mix and match the wheel and pedals with full compatibility between the systems. Logitech also have wheel hubs where you can choose from a selection of different wheel rims to attach on there. Plus you have the RS QR adapter allowing you to attach aftermarket steering wheels, but this is only compatible on a PC. You also have the RS shifter and handbrake, which can be used as either a sequential shifter or a handbrake, but not both at the same time. Platform support on the entry-level wheels is fixed, but it's different with the RS50 and the Pro wheelbases. So if you wanted support on all platforms, you can get that by purchasing a PlayStation wheelbase and use an Xbox wheel hub. And worth mentioning, on the entry-level wheels, there's quite a few third-party mods you can get to make changes to the wheels or even adding a load cell to the pedals. But to be honest, once you add up the cost of a few of these mods, you're better off just getting the RS50, as to be honest, they're just a waste of money. In terms of making changes to the settings on all the wheels, you can do this on a PC with the Logitech G Hub software. This allows you to make adjustments on both the wheel and pedals. You also have the ability of making changes directly from the wheelbases of the RS50 and the Pro wheels, but this isn't possible on the entry-level wheels. So there you have it. You've come to the end of another video, and I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing a Logitech racing wheel. Details of all the items I've mentioned today are in the description below, including purchasing links. And if you're purchasing directly from Logitech's website, you can use my discount code, which is Geek Street, and you get a further discount on any of their Logitech G products. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and let me know which wheel you'd go for. For those of you who've got to the end of this video, please leave a comment with Logitech, as it's awesome to see who's got to the end of my video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on all my socials. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.